Welcome everyone. So this is our weekly chat. This is Health Talk Tuesday. And today we're going to be talking about immune balance, probably in a different way than you've discussed it recently, in a different way, kind of a focus more on longevity and immune function. The point of having a bigger discussion about immunity is truly understanding all of the different parts of our lives, the way we eat, the way we sleep, the way we move, and how we manage stress, the role that plays in supporting immunity and longevity. It's important for us to get a closer look at our own lifestyle. I often describe this as a personal inventory. I ask people to take an inventory and ask themselves, what are you doing to achieve better health? What are you doing to achieve immune health and longevity? Well, we need to have a big discussion. Like I said, I want to bring a lot of the moving parts into it. To do that, I want to make sure that you understand that today's presentation is about things that you can do, things that are within your control. Everybody knows when we eat better, we move better, we sleep better, and we manage our stress, we pay attention to the signals that are coming in, and let's be honest, the signals that we send out, we end up being better health, better mental health, better physical health, better well-being. Today's presentation is not to make a claim about treatment, cure, or mitigating a disease, but simply for you to understand the power of taking health into your own hands. What I often refer to as an immune function and immune balance. We're looking not to tip the scales in one direction or another, but to allow you, your metabolism, and your overall body structure to bob and weave with everything that comes at it. The human body is so complex, and it is in fact the way these cells communicate with each other and work in coordination to make tissues and organs that allow you to have robust energy, support your immune function, your neurologic function, your cardiovascular function. Your immune system is a complex system of cells, chemicals, and proteins, all set up for the purpose of fighting off invaders. Invaders that you may come in contact with due to occupation, due to dietary habits, due to travel, but also due to poor detoxification pathways. So we need to make sure that we're supporting you on the outside as well as on the inside. We need to make sure that you have immune function and immune balance. Functional immunity, as I often refer to it, is critically dependent on how you treat your body and how you treat your mind. And I want to throw something out there, how you treat other people. Be careful of the pictures you allow your mind to create, because that is what creates the metabolism, the energy of the cells. I want your cells vibrating on a healthy energy, right? On a positive energy. So we have to think about not just the words that we choose to use with ourselves, the words that we choose to use with other people, but also our day-to-day habits. We have to think about our body's immune system, or its frontline defense, means that we have to keep inflammation at a healthy range, one that allows you to defend yourself from invaders, properly detoxify, but not be overwhelmed. And I want to ask you a question. Have you considered your daily habits, the foods that you eat, the sleep that you get or you don't get, exercise habits, stress habits, and the role that they may be playing in depleting your energy or depleting your immune system? If you've ever heard me lecture before, you've heard me say that inflammation is critically important for survival. Well, inflammation and being able to create at a healthy immune cascade is of critical importance to your immune system. But being able to shut off that immune or that inflammatory cascade is just as critical to your survival. And that's why sleep matters, stress matters, and diet matters, because immunity is not just about having functional immunity, it's also about having immune balance. And each and every aspect of our day, the foods that we eat, the sleep that we get, our mental, emotional well being, each and every one of them, if we're not paying attention to them, will start to eat away at our body's immunity, our body's physical and mental stamina, as well as our physical barriers or defenses. Some people notice this with a gut hyperpermeability. Some people notice this with they catch everything. And some people will tell you that they've just never been better since. They kind of fell horizontal with something, a bug that just got them, and they've just never really felt themselves since then. The reason for that is that your immune system, your mental health, your physical well-being, and metabolism are all dependent not on one thing, right? But on a collection of cells communicating with each other and doing it with healthy synchronicity or healthy cooperation. So we have to really appreciate how our urban lifestyles have kind of gotten in the way of a healthy immune system or immune balance. I often will tell people there are two rules I want you to live by today. I need you to eat clean and play dirty. But unfortunately, we've really moved the scales in the wrong direction. Instead, what we've done is we've put people in a position where they are hyper hygienic. Right? I just read a post today that says, wash your hands plenty, right? But you're showering too often. We need to make sure that we're not putting ourselves in a position where we're trying to sterilize everything. Germs are the way our body and our immune system come into contact with invaders and then build a host defense. So your defense has a lot to do with coming in contact with things that threaten or challenge that immune system. What's challenging your immune system that you're not going to recover from or bounce back from? A poor night's sleep, a lack of healthy color in your diet, medications that may deplete many of these critical nutrients or lead to gut health issues that will stop your host defense barrier, or maybe you were just one of these very overly stressed individual. You're doing the other things correctly, but stress, whether we're talking about sexual health, whether we're talking about blood sugar health and well-being, cardiovascular health and well-being, or we're talking about your immune system, stress is one of the fastest things to deplete your body's ability to repair itself and to feel like it has the healthy energy and, quite frankly, the savings account to do all of this, right? Now, here's something I want you to know, because too many people think of the immune system as an issue with gut bugs or an issue with foreign invaders, right? Pollution and the like. Well, I want you to know that there are two types of immunity, and the whole job of this, of cells keeping everything running in concert, right, is to make sure that we don't tip the scales in the wrong direction. We need to support a balance between our acute immune system and what's referred to as our adaptive immune system. We need something that can initiate white blood cells to put up their dukes when we do come in contact with a foreign invader. And again, that challenge is of critical importance to you being able to build up that part of your immune system. But the adaptive immune system, that is where lack of good diet, stress, allergens in your food, or simply a lack of functional foods start to deplete your body's savings accounts or your ability to protect yourself over time with age or with changing metabolism, meaning that we need to pay attention to all factors of health and well-being, which means you need to understand how to fuel your immune system. So what are the two rules for a healthy immune system? Eat clean and play dirty. You're going to start with the gut. You're going to support optimal GI function. You're going to do everything you can to build a healthy gut barrier. And that means we're going to have healthy gut microflora. Healthy gut microflora has been linked to numerous benefits of overall health, including cardiovascular well-being, not just gastrointestinal well-being, immune function, even mental health. all of them are intimately linked to the health of the gut biota as well as the diversity of the gut biota. Diet is one of the clear ways that you can support a healthy gut biota and a healthy gut barrier by eating a diet rich in color, healthy fats, and getting lean proteins, because protein sources do matter. Quality of protein matters so that you've got the building blocks for a healthy immune system. You may recall that previously in a slide, I had mentioned that your immune system is built off of proteins, peptides. Well, you have a healthy balance of proteins and the colorful diet to drive them in the right direction. The other thing that you need to do is make sure that you're staying hydrated, right? You don't want to be reaching for sugary drinks. You want to be reaching for clean, purified, or filtered water. Exercise. Now, a lot of people will say, no, if I don't feel well, I'm not going to stress my body more. Remember what we said. You need to get your body to achieve some challenge. It needs to be challenged to build a response, to protect you, to learn how to defend you. Now, it's true. If you are horizontal, I don't need you getting up doing a bunch of running or exercise that will otherwise deplete the little bit of energy that you have. This isn't something that when you're down, you're feeling a little bit crummy, that I'm like, oh, well, what you just need to do is go lift up a barbell, go run a 5K, get in that 20 minutes of high intensity interval training. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is that individuals that commit to fitness on a regular basis are less likely to fall prey to illnesses. They tend to find that the severity, frequency, or duration of illnesses are less for them because they are physically fit. I'll often refer to this as metabolically flexible or immune flexible, right? They have the ability to take a punch, right? Keep a licking and keep on ticking. So it's important that as we think about ways to defend ourselves, that we don't just think about cold and flu remedies, right? That we don't just think about diet and a healthy microbiota, but that we understand that the person that is metabolically flexible is going to be able to mount a healthier and balanced immune response. Speaking of balance, all of that energy is going to require some recovery. It's going to require that you get a healthy amount of sleep. I get asked a lot, what is a healthy amount of sleep? Too many people are trying to live on too little. They're biohacking their lives. They're doing these little shortcuts so that they can have energy throughout the day and only get a handful of hours of sleep per night. I need you to get a good 7.5 hours of sleep every night. Yet, better than 50% of the adult population in the United States is trying to live on less than 6. So it's no wonder that we've got concerns with mental health, that we've got concerns with energy production, that we've got concerns with immunity, and that we've got concerns with people overeating, right? Simply trying to fill in where their diet would have otherwise and their sleep habits would have otherwise replaced and supported their metabolism. So the base of a healthy immune system means balancing your immune system. That means eat clean, play dirty. It means challenge your immune system. So don't find yourself in a hyper-sterile environment. You want to take a step towards better health, and that means taking a step into challenges, both metabolic challenges and immune challenges. Every age group. It's not about adults trying to come back from their childhood. In fact, all ages will benefit from a healthy night's sleep, a healthy diet rich in color, fats in their natural state, and healthy quality sources of protein, sufficient for their age, sufficient for their gender, and sufficient for their activity level. 100% of people will benefit by some level of deep rhythmic breathing, a healthy, not just night's sleep, but a healthy mental outlook. I appreciate that when we're talking about laughing babies, that we're talking about a very different world of pressure than we are with adults. So some of us need to prioritize certain things over another, right? But we're all going to focus on those foundations. So it comes down to this. What if I need to fill in gaps when my diet falls short? What if my stress habits and my sleep habits aren't really up to par? Is there something that I can do? If the body's immune system is all about healthy cell to cell communication, where do I get started? You get started with the gut. Probiotics have an overwhelming amount of literature to support not just their role in digestive health, but their ability to boost the immune system, support a healthy immune response. Whether we're talking about the adaptive immune system or we're talking about an acute response to a right now bug. What you have in a probiotic, a prebiotic, and a postbiotic, yep, they come in all kinds of families, right? Is a healthy gut barrier. Studies show that adding probiotics to your diet in addition to functional foods, and this means fermentable functional foods. This means fiber choices, resistant starches. These are some of the best ways that you can support a healthy gut biota as well as a healthy gut barrier. Common strains have been linked when they are in a higher concentration, or studies show that a wider diversity of gut biota create a healthy immune response with our white blood cells. So we want a healthy barrier. We want to be able to control for inflammatory end products. We want to be able to control for our body's defenses, right? The idea here is that mounting an immune response does require creating an inflammatory environment. And your gut biota are a way that you're going to control that inflammatory environment to balance a healthy immune system. When you look for proper probiotics to add to your diet through a supplement regimen, you're looking for those that have diversity. So that means family diversity, so a wide number of strains. You're looking for those that have a high concentration. So this means you're looking for a high CFU, colony forming unit, and you're looking for something that has a special delivery so that the probiotics themselves can stay alive and get to the area of health. And that's why I want you to look for LiveBack and BioTrack technologies in your probiotics. LiveBack and BioTrack technologies are two critical ways to ensure that the gut biota are alive, or the gut bugs in a probiotic are alive when you get them. LiveBack is a way to kind of freeze animate a probiotic so that it goes into stasis and then gets activated in your body. This creates the ability to have a shelf-stable but easy to transport probiotic, one that does not need to be refrigerated. It eliminates concerns of viability because they are stop animated, freeze animated until they are activated by your body. Now, that's just one way to make sure that live bacteria get into the body. Now we need to make sure that they get to the area where they're going to do the best work, and that's the large intestine. So we want to make sure that we use a sustained release technology called BioTrack. BioTrack is a sustained release technology that over an 8 to 12 hour period of time peppers the probiotics through the large intestine, making sure that not just this diversity of probiotic, concentration of probiotic, and a live probiotic gets is delivered, but that it gets exactly where it needs to go. And that's exactly what we've done with the Probiotics 10 and the children's probiotic, chewable probiotic in the DNA line. Probiotics 10 is for adults. And so the strains chosen are strains for adults. Sometimes we think of these as skinny bugs. Sometimes we think of these as cardiovascular bugs. I always think of them as mental health and well-being bugs. These are a handful of strains that support the body's metabolism, endocrine function, and mental health. So when you're looking for a good probiotic, you want it to have diversity, 10 different probiotic strains. You want it to have a high colony forming unit when we collect all of those diverse strains, and you want to make sure that not only are they alive when they get there with the LiveBack technology, but that they get where they need to go with BioTrack technology. When you're using Probiotics 10, you're using a vegetarian, gluten-free product. Then there's the children's chewable probiotics. Now, don't get ahead of yourself. If you're an adult, this is still a great product for you, especially if you have any concerns with oral health or dentition. We already know that things like Streptococcus salivarius doesn't just have an affinity for a healthy oral biome, also has been shown to help with plaques or tartar on the teeth. So it's important for adults to think about using a chewable probiotic as well. But we specifically chose 5 different probiotic strains unique to child gastrointestinal diversity. So this is much about oral biota as well as gut biota in this chewable probiotic. The Lactobacillus salivarius and Paracasei are important for that healthy oral biota, but Paracasei, rhamnosus, and plantarum are very good for gastrointestinal balance, in particular for individuals that find that they have changeable bowels. Now, those 3 probiotics are also in the Probiotics 10. In fact, all 5 of these are in Probiotics 10, with an additional 5 specific to the large intestine. So both adults and children will do really well with the children's chewable probiotics from DNA. What about creating a healthy immune system by passing through the gut? Now we've talked about the gut. Now let's talk about oxidative health and well-being. Well, vitamin C is at the top of that immune antioxidant list, isn't it? Whether we're talking to your mother or your neighbor, they say to you at the first sign of sniffles, right? You need some vitamin C. You need some chicken soup. You need to make sure that you get some good fruits in you so that you can get that vitamin C, right? Well, vitamin C is an important ingredient for so much more than the immune system. It's really the foundation of growth and repair. And isn't that what you want in a healthy immune system? Vitamin C has been shown to initiate a healthy white blood cell response in the body, as well as creating healthy cardiovascular blood flow. So that those nutrients, these antioxidants, can get where they need to go. But what you should know is that vitamin C is essential. That means the body can't make it. You need to take it. Humans are not capable of making vitamin C. And so we need to make sure that we get enough of it through food or through supplementation. Vitamin C is considered some of the most powerful antioxidants, in particular when paired with beta carotene, which is called provitamin A. And this is because vitamin C is a fantastic workout buddy. It's a fantastic antioxidant partner to fat-soluble antioxidants like vitamin E for cardiovascular health and beta carotene for immune health and well-being. Keep in mind, vitamin C is a very fragile vitamin, and that means that cooking it or exposing it to heat or having your supplements just sit out can make the product less effective, right? Or cooking can just cook out all of the vitamin C, making supplementation and filling in where your diet falls short of critical importance for your immune system, because the body's white blood cells work on an oxidative burst. See, just like inflammation has its role in health, just like creating an inflammatory cascade is necessary to mount a healthy immune response, creating a free radical burst is also necessary to initiate an immune response. So whether that burst of free radicals comes from the gut or whether we're talking about other tissues in the body, you want something like vitamin C, flavonoids, bioflavonoids, or even polyphenols, all of which are so think of your colorful foods, right? Your reds, your blues, your yellows, your oranges, your greens, right? Think of those as the critical way or an important way for you to not just allow to initiate that immune response when the body sees an invader that creates a lot of free radicals, but also have something that's going to neutralize those free radicals while boosting white blood cells activity. And that is exactly what vitamin C does. Similar to organs in the body, like the spleen, that are necessary to cleanse the blood, antioxidants cleanse the cells of cellular debris so that you can mount a healthy immune response, but so that you can also keep a balanced immune response, not to mention a balanced cardiovascular and mental well-being response. So the first line of defense with vitamin C is it supports epithelial barrier function. It is of critical importance to healthy um, vessel performance, barrier performance, not just the probiotics in the gut, but now we're talking about a healthy barrier in our cardiovascular system. When we're talking about epithelial tissue, lining of the gut and the organs. Vitamin C, because it initiates a white blood cell cascade, is able to attack a foreign invader quite quickly. The idea here is by creating a healthy epithelial barrier or a intestinal barrier or a cardiovascular barrier or a tissue barrier, right? But then initiating an all-out attack on the invader. We prevent the invader from getting in, and we neutralize the invader with this incredible free radical scavenger. The second line of defense is to support that ongoing immune system, right? So that we are able to, over time, get rid of cellular debris. Antioxidants, some of them more than others, are important for sweeping out or taking out the garbage. And so it's important that you don't just use antioxidants like vitamin C at the first sign of sniffles, but that you have an ongoing regimen of antioxidants so that you're always ready to defend yourself. Vitamin C has been shown in the literature to support a healthy immune response. It's also of critical importance because it creates collagen to create bones, cartilage, teeth, and even a healthy biome in the mouth. It's important for eye health and skin health, and this is another reason why it is paired so well with beta carotene or provitamin A, because they're constantly working to create a healthy barrier function. And people often will say, is my skin important for my immune system? Your skin is absolutely important for your immune system. Just like your intestines create a barrier, so does your skin. And when your skin is healthy and integrous with the help of things like vitamins and minerals, antioxidants, well, now you've got something that is also an area of barrier defense, or that same kind of epithelial defense, right? So while the cells may be different on the outside of your skin, a healthy barrier, that is the common thread. A healthy barrier in the gut, a healthy barrier throughout the organ systems, a healthy barrier in your skin. So when it comes to vitamin C, you are likely burning through it faster than you think, even if you do eat a diet rich in color. In fact, studies show that better than 50% of the adult population in the United States is deficient in vitamin C, which is really wild considering deficiency is based on a recommended daily intake, and the intake values are really quite low for vitamin C. So the idea here is that we obviously use it very quickly in our very modern world. And so you're going to need to replace it to be able to keep up a healthy barrier and a healthy immune system. Individuals that are under chronic stress are burning through their vitamin C very quickly, simply because vitamin C is a component of hormones or neurotransmitters that are depleted by stress. So if you've ever felt a little bit of wonky here, you may want to go back to the basics and make sure that you're getting a diet rich in colors so that you've got all of the nutrients that you need to create these stress hormones, to create these brain neurochemicals, so that you can have not just in this case, a diet rich in color for immune support, but also for mental health and well-being, because we know that when an individual is overly stressed, their immune system kind of takes a hit. Individuals that drink alcohol on a regular basis, smoke on a regular basis, or individuals with chronic immune concerns, all of these people do very well with vitamin C. I do want to point out that a smoker has a requirement of 2 to 3 times more vitamin C than a non-smoker. So it's really important that we pay attention to our lifestyle, not just how quickly we come in contact with things that we think might get us sick. So who should supplement with vitamin C? Anybody that does not eat fresh foods. They're going to want to supplement with more than vitamin C, frankly. They're going to want to make sure that they're getting a multivitamin, a myriad of different antioxidants and things like vitamin D. We've talked about those that drink, smokers, because they metabolize vitamin C at such a fast rate. Individuals under stress or those concerned, as I said, about supporting their immune system, which brings me to something called a vitamin D winter, right? Because we are not exposed to the sun as much, because we stay inside during cold weather, many individuals will notice that their immune systems also get under the weather. And this is what is referred to as a vitamin D winter, where the area under the curve for individuals that have cold and flu complaints tends to go up in the winter. And while we attribute that to cold weather, right, a cold snap, or things being able to hang out in the cold air and then we respire them, part of it is the fact that we're also not in an environment that is upping our vitamin D status, which means we need to supplement or eat to improve our vitamin D status. But it's sometimes hard to get enough vitamin D, not just in general for your bones and your immune and your endocrine system, but all of the places that vitamin D is used in the body beyond the immune system. So we've mentioned the vitamin D winter, that a lack of direct sunlight is one reason why people have a hard time getting or keeping their vitamin D levels in a sufficient or optimal range. Reduced skin synthesis of vitamin D due to dark pigment of the skin. Individuals that are naturally darkly pigmented have a harder time making the conversion of vitamin D, meaning that we have to have a higher commitment to vitamin D supplementation when our skin has that extra pigment. Lower dietary intake. Quite frankly, it's hard to get vitamin D through dietary intake. It's highest in fish and in mushrooms, and yet most people are not eating a large amount of these foods on a daily basis, in particular in the winter, right? So impaired intestinal absorption. This may be due to blood sugar issues. It may be due to poor gut health, due to poor food choices. It may be due to carrying extra weight. All of these things can stop or block the absorption of vitamin D. Maybe more precisely, we're just burning through, much like we talked about with vitamin C. Just simply some of those metabolic factors are burning through the vitamin D too quickly. So intestinal absorption has already been limited because your kidney or because your liver has had to use it because you are resistant due to poor dietary intake, inflammation in the gut, trying to keep your blood sugars or your blood pressures stable. All of these are areas where vitamin D can be of benefit. We do find that some people will not metabolize to the active form of vitamin D in their kidneys. And aging, just simply aging, means that certain factors for vitamin D utilization, including factors of vitamin K and hormones, that support a healthy range of vitamin D and vitamin K in the body, start to decline as we age. So we want to think about vitamin D beyond the immune system. We want to think about it for cardiovascular health, for kidney health and well-being, for bones, right? For brain health. We want to think about it for a large number of concerns, right? The first of which being that you've got a healthy and robust immune system. When you look at or what you're looking for in a vitamin D supplement, you want to make sure that you've got not just an active form of vitamin D from a good source, a natural source, instead of using a synthetic vitamin D, but you also want to make sure that it's paired with a driver so that it can get into the bones, that it can get into vessels the way it is supposed to. And that's why the isotonic vitamin D3 with K2 is paired with, well, K2. K2, another natural ingredient derived from garbanzo beans, is a natural K2. This is utilized outside of the liver, so it's not part of that blood clotting cascade. So individuals, after speaking to their healthcare provider, can still use vitamin D3 with K2, even if they're on medications that eliminate them from taking K1 or dark green leafy vegetables. By the way, if your doctor tells you to stop eating dark green leafy vegetables, get a new doctor, okay? There are too many important things that are found in a diet rich in color, including green vegetables that your body needs. There are ways that can be taken care of and managed. So your first step is to eat food in their natural state. Where there's a deficiency or a depletion due to lifestyle or age or activity, I need you to think about supplementation. And that's why it's so important to use the isotonic vitamin D3 with K2. Not just because it has natural ingredients, but because they are properly ratioed to support your immune health, to support your cardiovascular health, to support your blood sugar health, and ultimately to support your bones and your brain. The idea is healthy aging and longevity by targeting a healthy immune system. So who's a good candidate for vitamin D3 with K2? Anyone that works indoors. Anyone looking to support healthy blood vessel elasticity and aging bone. Anyone that wants that has increased weight or blood sugar concerns and would need something like a supplement paired with a healthy diet and exercise to meet their metabolic demands. People looking to promote a healthy cardiovascular system, because K2 itself is an antioxidant that is important for vascular elasticity or bounce back. Individuals with naturally dark skin and individuals that test below optimal ranges. And so we know that it's not just adults that need to be looking at immune function through vitamin D. And that's why we also, for children, have vitamin D3 with vitamin C. We've got your children covered as well. Vitamin D3 provides all the unique benefits that I've just talked about, because we know that kids do not get a sufficient intake. They are also not eating enough mushrooms and fish, right? So because these are foods that are not commonly consumed by children, we need to find a way to supplement vitamin D for them, not just for healthy, strong bones, but also for their strong brains, development of their brains, their nervous system, and definitely a healthy immune system. So we've got the vitamin D3 and vitamin C chews from DNA Miracles, our children's clean natural line. The vitamin D3 is 1500 mics or 600 IUs, exactly what your kids need. Vitamin C at 120 milligrams and zinc at 3 milligrams. All of this to support their brains, their bones, and their immune system. What about specialized support? Is there something that we could do for individuals that maybe due to exercise push their immune system or recovery potential down? You need to exercise, but you need to recover as well. Well, things like the Wellmune ingredient, which has been shown in both children and adults to help with an acute onset of cold and flu seasons, as well as those with depleted immune systems due to like marathoning or exercise. In fact, that's one of the superpowers of the Wellmune ingredient, is that it's perfect for people that put in long days, a lot of energy, burn the candle at both ends. So I'm talking to you guys that are overly stressed and overly worked, right? I went the wrong direction. That's why we talk about supporting a healthy immune system. This Wellmune is derived from a proprietary strain of yeast. This yeast is a yeast beta-glucans. And just like that vitamin C initiating a white blood cells activity, the antioxidant cascade, the free radical burst that is required for a healthy immune response, and then the vitamin C to come and clean up after the fact. Well, that is similar to how a beta-glucan works in the intestines. Your intestines account for, there's lymphoid tissue or immune tissue wrapped around your intestines, and it actually accounts for about 70% of the total body immune system. It's actually wrapped right around here in the gut. Well, beta glucans have a function in the gut to get white blood cells, neutrophils in particular, to burst, to create a cascade, to fight off invaders and really support that gut-associated lymphoid tissue. They act as a complement to neutrophils to make sure that white blood cells act the way that they are supposed to. And this creates a balanced immune system. Even when the thing that is tipping your scales the wrong direction or moving the needle in the wrong direction is your own lifestyle factors, like too much stress, right? Not enough sleep, running, pushing your limits and not allowing yourself time to recover. It's in fact these macrophages, these other white blood cells that engulf the well-immune ingredient and just wait for it to come into contact with a foreign invader. Once it does, the macrophage eats that white blood cell eats the foreign invader. It gets exposed to well-immune, and then well-immune sends off a cascade of other white blood cells called neutrophils that then take care of everything, and they start wiping out all of the foreign invaders without creating a hyper inflammatory response. And so we've got this for both children as well as adults. Both products contain well-immune. There's just less well-immune in the children's isotonic immune product. The children's immune product also has bromelain in it when the adult product does not. Bromelain is considered a great immune enzyme because it has the ability to peel away, or as a protease, which is another way of saying to enzymatically degrade proteins. Well, that's what many of these foreign invaders are, right? They're wrapped in a protein coat. So bromelain helps us expose those so that the body can initiate a healthy immune response. But bromelain has a superpower. Bromelain is also something called mucolytic. It breaks down mucus. So when these small bodies have something to cough up, bromelain can help them do it better, to kind of break up that mucus so it doesn't hold on to here or to here. Well, that's true for adults. True, using an adult bromelain is a perfectly acceptable approach to a healthy immune response. And just like in the vitamin D3 with the chews, the vitamin C and D3 chews, this product has zinc and vitamin C to support the body, to support well-being, and to make sure that you've got the specialized immune support you need, especially if you're burning the candle at both ends. When we think about targeting a healthy immune system, we think about antioxidant protection, diet, and supplementation, making sure that you've got the right foundation of vitamins and minerals, and that you up your game on things like vitamin C and beta carotene, especially if you're concerned about an immune response. That there's a critical role in supporting a healthy immune system and also achieving a healthy cardiovascular system, and maintaining fitness, especially as we age, is one of those things that can help us defend our bodies during cold and flu season, or if we are exposed to a lot of immune challenges, right? But again, you've got to expose yourself to the immune challenges so that you're able to mount a healthy immune response. And that means you've got to have a solution for regulating or modulating your stress response. You need to focus on digestive health and well-being, blood sugar function. Those individuals that have trouble regulating their blood sugars or have elevated blood sugars, they're going to need to have a higher commitment to supplementation to support vitamin D metabolism and utilization, and ultimately their immune system. Overall immune health means overall body health, and that's why we focus on all areas of health to focus on immune and longevity. You guys, my name is Dr. D. Thanks for being here for Health Talk Tuesdays with me. I will see you next week on another Health Talk Tuesday.